Hello again. So as I wanted to, I've sort of created a bit of a storm, which I'm quite pleased about. And there's a lot of questions being asked about, you know, is treason a bit too strong? Because here's a bit of a strong word, isn't it? Let's face it, you know. So is it? Is it treason? Am I off my cake? Is it treason? I don't know. Let's have a little look, shall we? So, by getting straight into it, my interpretation of treason is if you undermine the government or undermine the royal family. So if you undermine the royal family in any way, undermine the government in any way, consciously, certainly for private gain, that's for treason. That's one of the interpretations I have of treason. Okay, so undermining the government and undermining the economy and all that kind of thing. Now, if you undermine the economy, you undermine the government. If you undermine the economy, you undermine the royal family, in my view. So, the Royal Mint, they say this. In relation to your question, this is their official statement, like all other retailers, the tills in the Royal Mint experience are supplied by the banks. Now there's the first part of their statement. The tills in the Royal Mint experience, like any other retailer, are supplied by the banks. So, the money that goes in the tills at the Royal Mint experience, part of that money is supplied by the banks. Quite simply, all we ask them to do is tell us which bank they go to. Because there isn't a bank in the country, not one single bank in the country, where you or I can go and get A to Z 10p's by the thousands. And I say by the thousands because they come in big £100 bags. You get your little £5 bags, but they come in big £100 bags. And £100 of 10p's is 1,000. So there's 1,000 in every bag. Big bag. And there isn't a bank in the country where any one of us can go and get A to Z 10p's. So they're not telling the truth there. And they're not telling the truth there, and we can prove they're not telling the truth there. You can prove that quite simply by going and trying to get A to Z 10p's from a bank. People watching my video live all over the country. Some of you are in Northern Ireland, some of you are in Wales. Some of you are even in the same town that the Royal Mint Experience shop is in. Sheffield, Manchester, everywhere. You are everywhere. Scotland, you are everywhere. So just go and check it out. Go down to your bank. They've told you banks. They've said, not said post office. They've said bank. The Royal Mint Experience are supplied by the banks. How many banks supply the Royal Mint Experience? When I was doing all of my change collecting, and we was doing like £5,000-10,000 a day sometimes in coin searching, we got all our money from Barclays Bank at that time. Subliminal, remember? Subliminal. So, if someone had said to me, where do you get your change from? There's only one of two answers I can really give. One is mind your own business, I don't want to tell you. Or two, I get it from Barclays Bank. It would be strange, would it not, for somebody to go, I get it from the banks. Because from the banks implies that it's more than one bank. When you put an S on the end, it implies it's more than one. So the Royal Mint Experience are saying that they get their change from more than one bank. But they won't say what bank. Well, there can't be that many banks in the town where the Royal Mint get their change from. So anybody that lives in that town, go to the banks, because the Royal Mint says that the banks in your town, they wouldn't get their change from a bank in a different town, would they? it says the Royal Mint experience is supplied by the banks. So it's really interesting to know, A, what banks they get them coins from, and B, how much they get from those banks. All of that is recorded. Every single transaction is recorded. And if they get their coin from the banks, it means that they're paying a commission to the banks. Now, at one point, I was paying £1,200 a month to Barclays Bank. And I don't go through anywhere near as many coins as what they go through. But that was costing me £1,200 a month just to get that change from the bank. There's a cost to getting your money from the bank. Always a cost. It's never free. Those of you that go into the bank and get a bag of change and all the rest of it and don't pay any commission, just privately, and they'll give it to you. But business-wise, you always get changed. Always get charged, I mean. So we've covered that one. So it knocks that straight into the park. There is something wrong with that. Something seriously wrong with that statement. If the statement is true, then it's very easy to say which banks you get it from, and for any one of us to go down there and get some change and prove it and go, okay, we were wrong, it is. And then we can tell everybody on video nationwide that actually all of your 10p's are over in this bank over here. We can tell you that now because we've been there, because the Royal Mint's told us where they are, and we've gone over, we've verified it, and yes, they're all here, so come on down and get them from this bank. That is what we would be saying. Something wrong with that statement. If you believe, even just getting to that statement, if you believe that there is nothing wrong with that statement, do not watch any more of my videos, please. Okay? That's how much I think there's something wrong with that statement. Then we go on to say, the Royal Mint supplements this with a small selection of promotional coins, such as the Great British Coin Hunt 10p pieces. So, and these people, they don't write these official statements without passing it by legal first, or passing it by somebody that knows what they're doing. These statements are meticulously written. They're not written in a hurry like you or I might write a statement. They're written in the way a solicitor might write a statement. They take their time. Someone looks at it that knows what they're talking about. So the next statement, the Royal Mint supplements this with a small selection. Supplements. The Royal Mint supplements it. Supplements is on top of. It's not including, it's on top of. Now they also say that they buy back some of these coins from the Treasury, which is not on this particular statement, but it is on the statement on the recording that I've got. And it is in the statement that other people have been reading on video. And in that other statement, it says these two things that I'm covering here, but it also says the third thing, which is that they buy back some of their coins from the Treasury. Subliminal. Now, it doesn't, they don't say, and they're not specific over whether they bought the coins back from the Treasury before they went on the lorry or after they went on the lorry. Because I'm not too sure how buying coins back from the Treasury works. You're still making 210,000 of each coin, or let's get it exact, you're still making 5.2 million coins. 5.2 million coins that the Treasury have paid you to put on a lorry and send to the cash handling centres. If you buy back some from the Treasury, then presumably you're buying those coins back before they get on the lorry. Because if they get on that lorry and they get delivered to wherever they get delivered, cash handling centre, which then goes off to the banks, from that moment on, anybody buying any of those coins, there's going to be a charge. You're going to have to pay a commission. So the only way that you can buy it back from the Treasury is to buy it back from the Treasury and create a receipt before the coins actually get put onto the lorry to go to the cash handling centre. Subliminal. You can't buy them back from the Treasury once they've gone into a cash handling centre, because that cash handling centre needs to tally its books. You go and buy coins from Barclays Bank, Midland Bank, Santander, don't matter who you buy the coins from. You buy coins, it's going to come at a cost and you've got to pay a commission. So there will be receipts to prove that. And those receipts will prove and show whether those coins were purchased from the Treasury before they got on the lorry or after they got on the lorry, or whether or not there is no receipts. I don't know. So the buying back from the Treasury, that's how I answer that one. Is how did you buy them back from the Treasury? Before they went on the lorry, after they went on the lorry? Difficult to assume you'd buy them back after they went on the lorry, so it must be before they went on the lorry. That means they haven't left the factory. And are you paying a commission on that? So they buy them back from the Treasury and they get them from the banks. And I've answered both of those. Now we're talking about the tills. The Royal Mint supplements this with a small selection of promotional coins, such as the Great British Coin Hunt 10p pieces. Supplements means on top of. This promotional activity, and here's the kicker, this is the bit that a lot of people have overlooked in their official response. This promotional activity is funded by the Royal Mint as an added touch for our visitors. And people have made a special thing about saying that. And why shouldn't they? People have been saying, oh, it's all right, the people have been saying. Funded by the Royal Mint. That means the Royal Mint has paid for it. The Royal Mint has admitted paying for it. They did it. They've not said under a deal with the Treasury. They've not said asked for by the Treasury. They've said it is funded by the Royal Mint as an added touch for our visitors in our shop. Bugger anybody else that's in any other shop. Don't care about anybody else that's got another shop. We're looking after our own visitors in our own shop. We are being selfish with that. Mine, ours, looking after our shop. Bugger everybody else. Funded by the Royal Mint. All central, personal, in-house, selfish reasons. Just like, I'm not saying anything wrong with selfish reasons. You know, I want my business to work because of selfish reasons. So I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but it's selfish. Obviously, I'm selfish too. Still, selfish reasons want their own shop to succeed. Therefore, they will fund, they will have as an added touch for their visitors a small selection of promotional coins that they will pay for and make and put in their tills without any checks and balances, it seems. Subliminal. So, why is that such a big deal? First of all, we've dealt with the word supplements, extra. Small selection, what constitutes a small selection? Is 210,000 of each letter considered to be a small selection? If you consider that 210,000 of each coin is a small selection, then you seem to be okay with the fact that they could put 210,000 of each letter. See, the closest we can get to working out how much money this is worth and the kind of catastrophic blunder this is if you use the Kew Gardens. The Kew Gardens had a mintage figure of 210,000, something like that. The amount that they made was 440,000. That's 230,000-ish, more than what the government and Treasury wanted to go into circulation. The Treasury didn't want any more than 210,000 coins, apparently. Give or take a couple of thousand, just in case I've got the figures not exactly right. And they didn't want any more of those. That's why only what went into circulation went into circulation. More than what the government asked for to go into circulation was made for the private sector market. More was made. More than double was made. So if you look at a lot of the coins that they've minted since, and you notice the rarer coins, they tend to make a lot more privately of the rarer coins. Why does this make a difference? Because every single one of those 2018 10p's is as rare as a Kew Gardens. Don't matter how easy it is for you to get hold of them now in one way or another, by buying them or whatever, they are as rare as a Kew Gardens. And in 10, 15 years' time, the price will reflect that, because only 210,000 of each one was made. No matter what, no, they can make 1 million of each letter in 2020, but only 210,000 was made in 2018. Those coins will become super rare in time. And they've made more than double. And that's the only bit of guesswork I'm going to give this, based on all the evidence and based on all the numbers of all the coins that they've made for the sale market and the collector's market, and based on the number of oversubscribed coins that they've made for the rare coins. My guesstimate, best guesstimate is, logically speaking, they've made double. So the Treasury asked for 5.2 million coins to go into circulation, and the Royal Mint have probably made about 10 million. Now, they could get away with it with the 2009 Kew Gardens. And the reason they can get away with it with the 2009 Kew Gardens is because every coin that they made was bunts. Buntsy, or otherwise known as brilliant uncirculated. A brilliant uncirculated coin, which is that, or that's brilliant uncirculated. So's that. That's illegal to spend that. It is not legal tender. It's illegal to spend it. Therefore, they can make as many as they want. They can make 50,000 for the circulated market and 1 million for the collectible market if they wanted to. Pardon me. There is nothing, apparently, I haven't checked into this bit too much yet. I haven't even started on this, but apparently there is nothing anybody can do. They are perfectly within their rights, legal, apparently, to make as many as they want for the private sale market. Can't do anything about that. So with Kew Gardens, they get away with it. With the 10p's, they never made a single brilliant uncirculated coin. If you have a receipt from the Royal Mint or 288 Group or Change Checker or Westminster Collection or Collectology or any of these companies that says, or me even, because at one point I even advertised them as brilliant uncirculated, you are entitled to your money back because they never made any brilliant uncirculated coins. So if you have a receipt from anybody, a barcode from anybody with bunts on the back with brilliant uncirculated on it, then, you know, that was illegal. If you've got one from the Royal Mint, it was illegal. If you got one from 288 Group, Ian Glenn, Westminster, Change Checker, Collectology, it was illegal. If you got one from me, it was illegal. It was illegal because you've got a receipt for something that doesn't exist. That's fraud. That's me and 288 Group and Ian Glenn and the Royal Mint committing fraud. The difference is I didn't know I was committing fraud. They did. They knew they was committing fraud and they went ahead and committed the fraud. And they got other dealers all around the world to buy into it like me and be party to this fraud. Anyway, why does this make so much difference? Because when they made 210,000 Kew Gardens to go into circulation, and they made 230,000 at a Buntsy, there's a difference in quality with the Buntsy, And remember, it's illegal to spend it. It's not legal tender. When they did it with the 10p's, they didn't make a single brilliant uncirculated 10p. They made this fraudulent early strike, and it is fraudulent, and I'm going to cover that in another video. What they did, I think, was fraudulent. Clever marketing, really. Clever marketing. Is it fraudulent? Well, I don't know. Maybe there's a debate to be said whether it's fraudulent, what they did over that, but it was certainly really clever marketing, and it was a clever marketing campaign designed to hoodwink you and con you, essentially. I will cover that. It was designed for that. That's why I call it fraudulent, because the whole thing was designed for that. Early strike is a nonsense. Early strike means absolutely nothing. If you've bought into the early strike, you should get your money back. Because once you've got those early strikes in your possession and you've got a piece of paper that says they're an early strike, there is nothing to say you haven't swapped them coins for a load of others, circulate, whatever. Because there's no difference in quality, really, apart from the fact that they're the first ones off the press. They're not bunts. Doesn't matter, they're not bunts. So this matters, a great deal, because we're talking 5 million coins. 5 million coins, and if they've doubled that, 5 million coins, they've made 5 million coins that are exactly the same quality as what goes into circulation. It is uncirculated quality, because that's all they made. They didn't make any bunts, they only made uncirculated quality. Which means they made the same coin over and over again that you would get if you was lucky enough to go into a bank and get them from a bag. That is the quality that they made. The ones that go to the banks, the ones that go into circulation. That is the only quality they made. The ones that go to the banks, the ones that go into circulation. Has nobody asked the question, why don't we get an early strike on every other coin? Because they're all striked early. There's always a load of coins that are struck early. Don't get it on anything else there. So every single one of these coins, 5 million coins that they've made extra, or even more than that, my logical reasoning says they've made at least double. A contact that I have says the same thing. They've made at least double. It remains to be seen, but we'll find out, because we'll get the solicitors on the case, and the solicitors will be able to make them give up those figures. The courts will make them give up those figures. You can write off and ask them under the Freedom of Information Act, can you give me the exact figures, please? So the Treasury asked for 5.5 million of these coins to go into circulation, and the Royal Mint make 10 million and use the other 5 million to make loads and loads and loads and loads of money. The trouble is that the 5 million extra that they made were of the same quality as what you get in your change. That means that they've actually made a carbon copy. If it's not buncy, if it doesn't go in a buncy packet of either description, and it's not buncy, it's normal, uncirculated, circulated quality coin that they've made. No bunts. Which means there is no distinction. At least you have a distinction of quality between a bunts coin and a coin that goes into circulation that affects the economy. There is a marked difference. Not massive, but it's marked. Illegal to spend it. I get around that because I reverse engineer it and take off the brilliance, and therefore we have a different argument as to, you know, what I do when I release coins into circulation. But what the Royal Mint are doing is they are just making extra. If you agree that there is a distinction between a brilliant uncirculated coin and a coin that comes out of change, right? If you agree there is a distinction, then you agree that there is a difference in quality. And the coins that they made for the A to Z market, they made 5 million coins for the Treasury. There you go, Mr. Treasury. It's 5 million coins there that you asked us to make. Machines are still going. There's your 5 million. We made them for you. Give us a check. Thank you very much. There you go. No, don't tell them. We've made another 5 million. We'll use them in our tills. We won't tell them. They won't. They don't want to know that. We won't let them know because we need that for ourselves. So we'll put them in our tills and we'll sell these. And they continued making them. There was no distinction whatsoever. So if they've continued making them up to a point, up to a figure, they belong to the Treasury. They're what the Treasury asked for. Over that point, anything over that point, one single coin over that point is nothing more than a carbon copy. It is just a carbon copy. So now we've dealt with that. So we've dealt with the fact that the Royal Mint supplements this, makes extra with a small selection. Ask the question, what do they consider small? I think they consider 200,000 of every letter small. A small selection of promotional coins, such as the Great British Coin Hunt 10p pieces. Now, here's another important thing. It says such as the Great British. Why does it not say a small selection of Great British Coin Hunt 10p pieces promotional coins? Why does it not specifically refer to the 10p pieces? Now they've opened it up again. Now they're going such as the Great British Coin Hunt 10p pieces. So what they're now saying is that they do this with other coins. What coins do they do this with? Did they do this with a puddle duck? Is that why we all had a lot of trouble finding a puddle duck? Did they do this with a puddle duck? Put it in their tills? How does anybody know? Where's the checks and balances? Who knows? What we do know is that they're saying they do it with coins such as the Great British Coin Hunt 10p pieces. Well, such as means we do other coins. And such as also means such as the Great British Coin Hunt 10p pieces, which are rare coins. So are we saying that we do this with rare coins? Such as the Great British Coin Hunt 10p pieces. Such as could mean puddle ducks, could mean any other coin that's rare, could mean Belfast, could mean Great Fire of London. £2 coins, now you're into big £2 hits. Every coin is £2, it's not just 10p now. And there's so many multiples of coins and multiples of designs, such as the Great British Coin Hunt 10p pieces. What other coins have you used? You've now admitted to using more than the A to Z 10p pieces in your tills. What other coins have you used? How many of each one? And then, you know, it's funded as a touch for their visitors. So I've gone over this is their official release. And they have dug themselves in a hole at least 4 to 5 times that I can see in that. 4 or 5 times they've dug a hole. And it's going to be difficult to get out of that hole because of the words that they've used. And the words they've used are quite specific. From customer service, this is. And the subject is the Royal Mint Experience, and this was sent on the 9th of January 2020 at 11:13 in the morning on a Thursday. That's when this was sent from customer service. So that's my way of explaining it. Last bit of subliminal. That's my way of explaining it. If you think we've got something, if you think we're onto something, come over and join us. We can't offer you a cashback alternative on our crowdfunding site. It doesn't allow it. But if you want to get 3 times your money for the money that you lay out for the fight against the Royal Mint Fund, go onto our website. Click on the home button and you'll see the investments. Click on there and you'll see the listing to sue the Royal Mint or whatever it is. and you can pay cash on there. And we'll give you, if we win, we'll give you 3 times your money back. And if we lose, we'll give you 3 times your money back in points. And I've been saying this now for quite some time. We've raised about 6 grand that way. And the thing is, the more bullets we get in our gun like this, the more sure you can be that that's a sound investment. You know, when people first put their money into that, they were thinking, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, but I'm going to support him anyway. Now you know, we have them. We absolutely have them. I will drop everything else now and go after this. And then I'll deal with the other issues with the Mint and 288 Group afterwards, but I will go after the pair of them on this conspiracy here between the two of them, Ian Glenn and the Royal Mint, 288 Group and the Royal Mint. They have all put themselves in it in writing, as far as I can see. They are all joined up in this, and we're part of this all together with the contracts and the phone calls and everything they've got. And we're now trying to get hold of a copy of all their emails and phone calls and everything else, which we are apparently allowed to ask for. So, you know, if you want to get cash out of it, go onto our website and put some cash in, and you get 3 times your money back if we win. And if we lose, I'll give you 3 times your money back in points. Otherwise, go onto our crowdfunding campaign and support us on there. Please come and support us. Because if this kind of dirty tricks has gone on, with about 5 million super rare coins being banged out and sold the way they are, then, you know, where does it lead? What else have they been doing? And I've been saying for a long time, this is all about the money. We're talking about, pardon me, an industry for £100 million a year is nothing for this industry. This is a lot of money we're talking about. Some of it's yours. Have you had enough of people like this, big business, the old boys network, really walking all over you? If you have, come and join us. www.thegreatbritishcoinhunt.com. My name's Ian. The other thing I don't like is I'm included in this because it makes me a conspirator, because I've been dealing in counterfeit goods, and I don't like that. Because you got 5 million that the Treasury wanted and the other 5 million are counterfeit. Totally counterfeit. Not allowed to sell a single one of them. Counterfeit, every single one of them. Every single 10p coin that they have sold is counterfeit. And I don't like that. So I've even called the police. All right, so all of that said, where does the treason come into it then? So the treason comes into it with this. A minimum of 5 million 10p coins, as well as however many 50p coins and £2 coins, we now know have entered circulation that should never have entered circulation. That has a knock-on effect. It destabilises the economy. It's money going into the economy that the Treasury didn't ask for. That destabilises the economy. Anything that destabilises the economy destabilises the royal family and the government. The moment our economy gets destabilised, it affects the royal family and our government, and all of us. Because if it affects those two, it then has a knock-on effect to the rest of us. So, affecting our economy, destabilising it in any way, even by a pinprick's worth, a needle in a haystack's worth, well, you're not allowed to destabilise it by that, let alone any size. It's just not allowed. So, it's destabilising the economy, and that is undermining and destabilising the royal family and the government. And I believe anything that undermines and destabilises the royal family and the government is treason. So if anybody sees it any other way, I don't know. Back us. Back us now. Back us while you've got the chance of backing us. I really feel good about this. Thank you.